Hello, welcome back to Study with Deepak. Today we are going to start the poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. But before we get started, I remind you again to please subscribe to the channel Study with Deepak to get the latest video. Thank you. Now about the poet. William Wordsworth is regarded as the greatest poet of nature. Daffodil is Wordsworth's most famous work and shows vividly his love of nature. The poem was written in the year 1804, inspired by an event on 15th April 1802, in which Wordsworth and his sister came across a long belt of daffodils while travelling in the Lake District of England. This poem has two themes. One is nature. Nature, as you all know, is a source of eternal joy, everlasting joy, never ending joy. And the second theme is nature has healing power. It can heal anything. Anything means anything. Now I'll start the poem. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on over vales and hills. So here the poet recalls how once he moved about as freely as clouds. So he has compared himself with clouds over valleys and hills. So we can think that the poet was all alone, and he was as free as clouds moved to any direction. He was aimlessly moving. It could be his leisure time, so he was moving here and there. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. So suddenly he saw a large number of golden daffodils. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Here the word host means one who receives guest, and so daffodils again are personified as humans because the poet has mentioned the term crowd and host. So suddenly he saw a large number of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Beside the lake means near the lake. Beneath the trees means under the tree. And the word fluttering means moving slightly and quickly. So the daffodils had grown under the tree near the lake. The beautiful flowers are moving quickly and quietly, and it appeared to the poet as they were dancing. Thus the beautiful scene has captivated the poet. So he likes the scene very much. He is fascinated towards the daffodils, and a huge number, a big number, a larger number of daffodils are there. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. So the word continuous here means that the daffodils were in a large number and growing in a large number as a star. So here he indicates that the flowers are just like the stars, the heavenly creature. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. So the daffodils were shining as they were golden in color, and they were twinkling as they were fluttering in the breeze. So continuous as the star that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. Milky Way is a shiny band of light in the sky. It's made up of stars. So the poet again recalls that the daffodils he saw were as numerous as shining stars in the Milky Way. So Milky Way is made up of uncountable, endless stars, and here he compares the host of daffodils as the Milky Way. They stretch. The word stretch here means spread in never ending. Never ending means continuous. They stretched and never ending line across the margin of a bay, along the margin of a bay. Margin means bank, bay is lake. So the simile underlines the large number and beauty of the flowers. The daffodil growing beside the lake seem to form an endless line. So they are so large in number, as I told earlier also, that it appears that there is no ending to these daffodils. 10,000 I saw at a glance. At a glance means at one look, tossing their heads. Tossing means moving side to side like this in springly dance. So they are lively dancing. It appears that they have life in them and they are dancing like human beings. They were moving their head from side to side, one side to the other, and were dancing lively. Again, it's a sort of a personification. As human beings dance, so the flowers are dancing and they are moving their heads. And this is also done by human being. Again, personification. The poet has personified. The wave beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. The poet recalls how the shining waves of the lake in the lake seem to be dancing. Even the shining waves seem to be dancing in the breeze, but their dance was outshone or surpassed by the dance of the daffodils. Means they were dancing in more majestic manner, in a better way, and their dance fascinated the poet more than the dance of the waves. The daffodils seem to be dancing with much more liveliness and vigor. So daffodils are more impressive to the poet than the dance of the waves. A poet could not but be gay. A poet could not but be gay means a poet could not help being happy in such a jocund company. Jocund means happy. So he says company, and the company is the company of daffodils. So here again William Wordsworth has made a comparison, sort of a comparison that and his opinion is that if a person is sensitive means an emotional person, a person who is able to feel. The poet is of opinion that no sensitive person can help feeling delighted in the company of such joyful flowers. And if you have a company of joyful people, if you are in a company of a joyful companion, you cannot stop yourself to be happy. Definitely you will be a part of them, you will also be happy as your friends and your companions are. So the poet again, this is the opinion of the poet, that he is also happy and he cannot stop himself. Though he was lonely, wandering from place to place, and suddenly he came across a big large number of daffodils which were golden in colors, and to see them dancing, moving in the air in such a lively way, it changed his mood also, and he said that he cannot stop being happy in the company of those daffodils. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me he had brought. So the word gaze is used twice to indicate how moved or charmed the poet was. So the poet is extremely charmed, highly charmed, and he looked at those daffodils again and again, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. So he recalls how he continued to gaze at the daffodils. He was looking at the daffodils continuously. He could not think what wealth of joy he had brought to him. So he could not think, or he could not calculate the joy he had, the wealth of joy, the treasure of joy he had after again and again looking at those daffodils. So here the wealth is the happiness and the pleasure, that pleasant memory in fact that he enjoys after seeing the daffodils. For off, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood. For off. So by starting this stanza with the for, the poet continues his reasoning for saying that the joy the flower had brought to him. So for oft when on my couch, for means because, oft means often, couch means bed, vacant means idle, and pensive means sad. So this stanza marks a break in time. It's a sort of a break in time. There is a clear shift from past to present. Now past to present. So he clarifies the sight of the flowers, has why the sight of the flower is so important for him and for his life. The poet says that whenever he lies on his bed or on his couch in a free or sad mood, the beautiful scene of daffodils seen by him flashes across his mind. So flashes means comes suddenly to his mind. They flash upon that inward eye which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. So the word flash signifies suddenly appear. Inward eye is his imagination. Solitude is the state of being all alone. So the memory of the beautiful scene fills the poet's mind with joy when he is all alone, and when he is not in a good tempered, good mood at all, he is not happy at all, his heart begins to dance with the dancing daffodils. So whenever he is not in a good mood, he start thinking of those daffodils. He start the imagination of the daffodils comes to his mind, and again he becomes happy. And it generally happens with the nature. When we are not happy, we go to some when we are free and when we have our vacation, then also we go to hill station just to refresh ourselves and to make our life a better and happy one. So that was the summary of daffodils. The one thing that is very important, that the poet conveys the idea that nature has the power to make us come out of a melancholy mood, and we become happy after that. Now we'll do this rhyme scheme and this literary device, if there is any. So that style, the form is lyric. It appeals more to heart than to the intellect. Literary devices, first is personification. We have done it, and I have told you and made you mark them at many places. The poet has personified many of the things. The poet compares himself as a cloud. The word crowd, host, dancing, they all personifies the daffodils. Then simile. The poet compares his idle wandering as that of a cloud. That is sort of a simile. Beauty of the daffodils with that of the twinkling stars. Alliteration. I gazed, and gaze is alliteration. Metaphor, that inward eye refers to the metaphorical, to the memory. Metamorphically, it's related to the memory. Now the poem is divided into 4 stanzas, each having 6 lines. Each stanza is of 6 lines, and the rhyme scheme is A B A B C C. That's all. That was all for today. As I told you earlier, don't forget to subscribe the channel. I'll come up with a new lesson next time. Thank you.